medical outreach by Otorhinolaryngological Society of Nigeria. Members of the society from across the federation have converged on Sokoto to attend the 29th scientific conference and, by extension, assist the poor people with health challenges. The aim is to assist the indigent families grappling with health challenges related to ear, nose, and throat.
We advocate that preventable hearing should be prevented as much as possible.
As at the time of compiling this report, a good number of patients with ear, nose, and throat ailments have been operated on. They commended the state government, the society, and the wife of Sokoto State Governor Maria Aminu Waziri Tambwal for coming to their aid.
We thank God for Governor wife Maria. We thank God for her. Well. May God bless her.
The scientific conference, tagged Sokoto Caliphate 2022, is expected to feature paper presentations on various health issues in Nigeria. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Zamfara state government has recently recruited no fewer than 700 medical and health workers to address the dearth of essential personnel in public hospitals and clinics across the state. This came to the fore at an inauguration of a women and children hospital constructed by the state government in Safe local government area of the state. Jamilu Ibrahim has more.
Zamfara state government has within the past 2 years embarked on the construction of women and children clinics in 17 emirates across the state as part of efforts to bring essential healthcare services to the doorsteps of the vulnerable groups. This is the first of such clinics to be completed and equipped in Safe Emirate, and the facility has been formally inaugurated. The 10-bed capacity clinic got more than 62 million naira.
Women and children are most valuable segment of our population who require government support, not just in the area of health, but also the area of social and economic issues.
I will constantly visit this place to find out how things are going and to make sure that all the edifices put in place are in order.
Zamfara State Commissioner for Health Aliyu Abubakar Safi says the women and children clinics are in addition to the construction of primary healthcare facility in each of the 147 wards across the state and the recent massive recruitment of health personnel by the state government.
The state government recently approved the recruitment of about 700 community health and extension workers and junior community health extension workers, including community midwives and community nurses under the State Primary Health Care Board.
Executive Secretary of the State Primary Healthcare Development Board, Dr. Ismail Tukur, expressed confidence that the project will go a long way in improving routine immunization and the antenatal care services in the area. Similar project is built to be inaugurated at each of the other 16 emirate councils of Zamfara State in Gusau. Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
Well, that's our news package for today. Nationwide continues with Ruth in Abuja.
Thank you, Nana. It was another moment in the history of Nigeria as political parties, tribes, religion and ethnicity were all defeated towards forging common course in the Nigerian project. The event is the 10th memorial lecture in honor of the Second Republic Senate leader and Waziri of Ilorin, the late Dr. Abubakar Olushola Saraki. Timothy Yusuf reports.
It's an array of eminent Nigerians gathered to celebrate a Nigerian many described as a political colossus, Dr. Abubakar Olushola Saraki, 10 years after. From the representative of President Muhammadu Buhari, Governor Babagana Umara Zulum of Borno State, to the chairman of the Nigeria Governors Forum, Aminu Tambwal, leading governors from both governing and opposition political parties, and then the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, and numerous National Assembly members as well as traditional rulers, led by the Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammadu Sa'ad Abubakar III, among other prominent Nigerians. The list is endless.
Oloye truly represented all the political parties and all the various diversities of this great country. He was Mr. Nigeria.
An election preceding year like this, when Nigeria seeks to elect new leaders to run the affairs of the country, the Sultan of Sokoto believes requires genuine followership towards evolving a greater nation.
So we must look at who a leader should be, what a leader should not be, what we should do as followers to ensure we have a good leader.
No wonder the Memorial Anniversary Lecture had as its theme the leadership and followership debate. Pan-Africanist and former director of Kenya Anti-Corruption Agency, Professor Patrick Lumumba, was on ground to lead the debate.
We have come here to have a little Saraki in us, so that Saraki, the good politician, can live a little in us, so that when in the month of February Nigeria will be electing its leaders, it may be said that there was a Saraki and that good men and women rose and good men and women came out to vote and the best men did. God bless.
I want to use this opportunity to ask my fellow politicians to take away a lesson from the lecture that he has delivered with a view to moving Nigeria forward.
Dr. Abubakar Olushola Saraki was born in 1933 and died in 2012 at the age of 79, but his political philosophy and legacy is still relevant in contemporary Nigerian politics. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Considering the rising cases of the violations of children's rights across the country, the National Child's Rights Implementation Committee is also intensifying its campaigns and advocacy to ensure the protection of Nigeria's future leaders against harm and abuse. Momso Damian Detti reports, but let's advise you that viewers' discretion is advised because the pictures may be disturbing.
Just recently, the airwaves was flooded with the story of an 11-year-old underage housemaid who was tortured to death. One out of so many atrocities meted on children that the federal government is poised to stop through the Ministry of Women Affairs.
They don't go to school. These kids, they are dying, without food.
This led to the formation of a multi-sectoral National Child's Rights Implementation Committee, which has been partnering numerous key players to protect the interests of children. This visit to the Nigerian Human Rights Commission Abuja is in furtherance of their mandate.
A lot of Nigerian children are in dire circumstances. Child abuse, child sale, trafficking, exploitative labor. A lot of our children are not in school. We need to build strong alliances and collaboration to ensure that the rights of children in Nigeria are protected.
And being a vulnerable group, we have special consideration for children. We have created a department that's solely devoted to protecting the rights of children, making sure that the states also adopt similar legislation, which will now be called child rights law, making sure that children matters are mainstreamed across even other legislations. Here is the home of justice. Here is the home of human rights protection and promotion. It's the freedom house for all Nigerians.
With this synergy, Nigerians are encouraged to take advantage of the toll-free lines provided by the Human Rights Commission in case of any abuse. Momso Damian Detti, NTA News.
The 16 days of activism are here with emphasis on galvanizing action to end violence against women and girls around the world. This time around, members of the National Council for Women's Societies across the country are joining their voices to the global campaign to promote women's issues. Once more, let's hear from Momso Damian Detti.
The National Secretariat of the NCWS comes alive with color orange dominating the scene. Orange symbolizing a brighter future, free of violence and demonstrating solidarity in eliminating brutality in all forms. From the 36 states of the country and the FCT, these women are converged here on Abuja to join the global campaign against all forms of abuses and chart a path to better the lot of women.
According to the recent UN statistic, violence against women is deeply rooted in gender inequality and continue to be one of the most notable human rights violations. NCWS have outlined several activities to promote protection of rights of women and children. and eliminating all forms of violence against women and girls. This we do through education, mobilization, and empowerment.
The color orange will continue to be on display until the 10th of December this year. Momso Damien Ati, NTA News.
The federal government has reiterated its commitment to sustain the presidential amnesty program, which has brought relative peace to the Niger Delta region. Interim administrator of the program, Major General Barry Indiomo, retired, announced this in Yenagoa. Doris Akumoye reports.
The Presidential Amnesty Program was established in 2009 by the federal government of Nigeria, geared towards disarmament, demobilization and reintegration of ex-agitators in the Niger Delta region to give them a sense of belonging. To actualize its mandate, the interim administrator of the program, Major General Barry Ndiomo, is re-strategizing to improve on successes already recorded and address identified loopholes which are not healthy for the region. According to the interim administrator, upon assumption of office, he has initiated plans to renegotiate the existing contract with vendors and has been able to save over 1.5 billion naira.
General Ndiomo has also initiated internal and external audits of its database. The auditors have uncovered monumental frauds, especially in the payment of stipends and other sundry funds, where an individual is receiving stipends meant for 33 persons through fraudulent means. Hence, the proactive interim administrator has ordered for the immediate verification process of all delegates to be carried out next week. General Ndiomo, retired, has shown more commitment, patriotism, transparency, and accountability both in words and in deed in the management of the presidential amnesty program.
The amnesty boss, who was represented by the chairman, Presidential Amnesty Strategic Communication Committee, Nature Tumale, says PAP has initiated a sustainable and effective mechanism in the interest of ex-agitators to give them grants of 500 million naira and revolving loans, as well as introduction of a new program, which is to train, empower and exit against the existing model to train, employ and mentor, among other programs.
The ideas, as we can all see, is well read, and we have to give our leader the needed support. There is no delisting anywhere.
The team called on stakeholders to give the interim administrator the needed support to reposition the program to actualize the desired results. In Yenagoa, Doris Akumoye, NTA News.
The Joy Youth Council, Abuja and Northern Nigeria branch has commended President Muhammadu Buhari for the appointment of a substantive board for the Niger Delta Development Commission. In a press briefing in Abuja, the chairman, Adam Ogomugo, describes the decision by the president as a genuine demonstration to the development of the region and advised the board members not to betray the trust of the president.
The Joy Youth Council IYC Abuja, Northern Nigeria chapter, sincerely appreciate and thank His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, our father and leader, for listening to the voice of the people from the Niger Delta, for constituting the Niger Delta Development Commission Board, that we IYC Abuja wishes to inform the new management board to follow the mandate of the NDDC.
They should swing into action, make sure that we have our roads fixed again. We have the necessary palliatives that would go in to caution the effects of this ravaging flood.
Board and notes that the president's decision shows that he listens to the demands of the Niger Deltans. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has called on Nigerians to be cautious while carrying out internet transactions to avoid falling prey to internet fraud. Chairman of EFCC, Abdurrashid Bawa, gave the advice while interfacing with journalists in Port Harcourt on financial crimes reporting in the country. Robinson Derataide reports.
Internet fraud has remained a major concern to the image of Nigeria in the international community. To address the menace, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, is taking the lead and is tasking the media to help to expose internet fraudsters through undercover and investigative journalism. EFCC Chairman Abdulrashid Bawa, represented by the Zonal Commander Naneka Unwokike, and other speakers decried the delay in prosecuting financial crimes. They noted the need for regular and balanced financial reportage.
2 days ago, we got a court to submit to the Nigerian government a sum of 705 million naira, which was recovered from the former Attorney General of the Federation. But Nigeria is handling a very important case, like a bad case, for example. You just started putting first witness or second witness, all of a sudden, something happened and the judge is transferred. And the new one comes. Now, what happens? That case keeps delaying for years.
The media practice in this part of the world, it's not keeping pace with the rising, the new development in criminology. We are supposed to be able to uncover what is being covered, and we are supposed to be several miles ahead in our reports.
They've also called for a kind of synergy and partnership with the media. Of course, the media is ever ready to partner, but we also appeal for them to open their doors so we can get more access.
The agency also advised Nigerians not to rush into internet transactions without proper investigations. In Port Harcourt, Robinson Darateide, NTA News.
Well, let's take you to the report we called at the start of this bulletin on the opening of the second ordinary session of the ECOWAS Parliament. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo will bring us the details now.
The 2022 second ordinary session of the ECOWAS Parliament is convened to, amongst others, consider and adopt the 2023 Consolidated Community Budget, as well as draft reports of the Standing, Joint and ad hoc committees on the referrals from the ECOWAS Commission. This is in furtherance of sustained efforts at effectively and efficiently implementing the policies and objectives of the community towards strengthening representative democracy, addressing the many challenges besieging the region, as well as remaining sensitive to the needs of the people.
Honorable parliamentarians, we need to look at the coup d'etats in Mali, Burkina Faso, and Guinea, which has taken us back and must be condemned. And we need to return these member states to constitutional order.
We are seriously confronted with conflicts in the Sahel, which has become a playground for international terrorists. These have necessitated the need to build alliances and develop a multifaceted approach that addresses terrorism at the regional and global levels. It requires all hands on deck at any given time.
For President Muhammadu Buhari, sustenance of democracy and the rule of law should remain the norm in what he called the promising region, where multiple political activities are scheduled to hold next year in some member states, including Nigeria.
Let me see this opportunity to reiterate my commitment to free, fair, and transparent elections and smooth transitions. This is one legacy that I want to bequeath, not only to Nigeria, but to the region as a whole. Nigeria is ready to stand by any country in the region that is committed to organizing free and fair elections.
And as a country that strongly believes in regional integration and cooperation, the president emphasized that Nigeria will continue to support all the ECOWAS institutions domiciled within the country.
Our pledge to construct a new permanent headquarters for this parliament remains as irrevocable and strong as ever. I had hoped for a completion and formal commissioning of the project before leaving office. Let us collaborate more and remove our outdated physical and psychological boundaries and other colonially inspired differences so that our region can fully attain its full potential.
President Buhari also made a case for sustained efforts towards attaining the objectives of the ECOWAS founding fathers, which include having a West Africa that is economically integrated. Messages of goodwill were delivered by the presidents of the ECOWAS Commission, the ECOWAS Court of Justice, and the Moroccan House of Councillors, as well as the Speaker of the Pan-African Parliament.
You are on the African continent the best example of a regional economic bloc or a regional parliament. I think everybody should copy from ECOWAS. Can you continue on that path?
During the event, an award of excellence was presented by the ECOWAS Parliament to President Muhammadu Buhari for the promotion of democracy and regional integration. His Guinea-Bissau's counterpart and ECOWAS chairman, Umaru Sissoco Embalo, was also recognized for the promotion of regional peace and security. In Abuja, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
To improve activities of social welfare officers across the country and ensure poverty reduction efforts are sustained, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development has organized its first conference for directors of social welfare across the country. The theme of the conference is Poverty, Inequality and Social Development Innovations Around the World. A recent poverty index survey released by the National Bureau of Statistics shows 63% of the nation's population, representing 133 million of Nigerians, are multidimensionally poor. To address the social challenges and its impact on lives and livelihoods, social development and welfare directors are being engaged by the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development to up their ante on activities towards poverty reduction in the country. In a message, the Minister Sadia Umar Farouk emphasized on the importance of social welfare as it entails efforts towards improving the well-being of the vulnerable across the country.
Social welfare should be accessible to all and accountable to the public, directly involved in having comprehensive framework and structure in place for monitoring and evaluation, while at the same time ensuring that the wrong persons do not abuse the services. You are equally expected to work out strategies that would ensure the successful eradication of poverty in our communities.
However, the proposed new policy will take into cognizance factors that will get the buy-in of development partners and your input in the social sector in order to achieve wholesome development for the country and vulnerable Nigerians we serve and protect.
As these social welfare officers share experiences, the successful implementation of social development programs in the country will be sustained. All right, let's head to Maiduguri to join Mohammed. He's going to give us some more reports. Mohammed. Let's head to Maiduguri to join Mohammed.
Thank you, Ruth, and welcome esteemed viewers to Maiduguri and Nationwide. Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abubakar, has advocated for Nigerians to look inwards and draw from the nation's rich intellectual and cultural heritage in the quest to addressing challenges confronting the country. The monarch gave the advice in a keynote presentation at the 2022 annual lecture, dinner and presentation recognition award ceremony of the Barewa Old Boys Association, BOBA, held at the Government House in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital. Mohammed reports.
This is the first time Barewa Old Boys Association is holding its annual lecture, dinner and award night in the Northeast, which attracted members from all parts of the region. Keynote speaker, the Sultan of Sokoto, in a paper titled Challenges of Leadership and Governance in Nigeria, Looking Inward and Falling Back on Indigenous Resources, noted that
while no government is perfect, leaders must endeavor to keep institutions on their toes so that they achieve that purpose of government: justice, peace, and development.
The Sultan also highlighted major challenges of leadership, such as that of peace and security, accountability, trust deficit, people's welfare, and the core value, calling for the need to reflect on the dangers posed by the mentioned challenges, citing indigenous scholarly work from Sokoto and Borno as solutions. Governor Bagana Umara described the lecture as all-inclusive, saying it will add value to leadership in Nigeria, and thanked BOBA officials for choosing Borno for the event. Shehu Borno, Abubakar ibn Umar Garba El Kanemi, stressed the long-term relationship between Sokoto Caliphate and Kanem Borno Empire, citing Sultan's friendship and support to Borno Emirate, noting the number of opponents in Sokoto. National President Boba Dahiru Ibrahim, Chairman Local Organizing Committee Mohamed Ibrahim Soho, and the General Alwali Kazir thanked Borno State Government for hospitality and support for the success of the exercise, describing it as the best. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
Borno State Governor Professor Babagana Umar Zulum has inaugurated the State All Progressives Congress Campaign Council for the 2023 general elections with a call on members and other party loyalists to ensure fair and credible elections devoid of violence, even as they work for the success of the party at all levels. During the inauguration ceremony, APC leaders and stalwarts were charged on working for the success of the party. Here again is Mohamed Goni with more on that.
Borno APC Campaign Council's 100-member main committee is chaired by the state governor, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum. The inaugurated council also comprises 22 subcommittees with 887 members headed by top party stakeholders. Governor Babagana Umar assured the people of Borno of more dividends of democracy if given the mandate in the 2023 general elections, saying in his next term of office, Borno will partner with the federal government to resume oil exploration on the shores of Lake Chad.
You entrusted me with the responsibility to lead. I took this responsibility seriously and brought together a broad spectrum of people as our core team to help us drive the agenda for the peace, progress, and stability of Borno State.
The governor, who stressed gain maize in the security sector, assured to scale up more efforts as he pledged to reopen some roads for night travel and use the opportunity to thank President Muhammadu Buhari for his commitment to restoration of peace to the northeast, as well as the Nigerian armed forces and volunteers for their sacrifices. Governor Zulum said he will prioritize rural development, adding that Maiduguri-Bama Road will be completed by the end of this year, while work will commence on Bama-Banki Road and talks are on with Dangote to start construction on Maiduguri-Gamborungala Road. He said in the second term, his administration will also see to construction of the Mboa Road, actualize Biodam project, establish 3 agricultural processing centers, revive CBDA, women empowerment, establishment of School of Nursing in Goza and Mongono, and oversee scholarship for indigenous students, among others. On the alleged attack on the convoy of PDP presidential candidate in Maiduguri, Governor Zulum condemned any act capable of depriving rights of candidates and political parties from conducting electioneering campaigns, saying it is inimical to democratic norms and practices, stressing that his administration on assumption of office had banned political thuggery across the state. Borno State APC Chairman Ali Bukar Dalori said inauguration of council was to enable members participate with full recognition and pay tributes to Governor Zulum for the exemplary leadership, developmental projects, and people-oriented policies and programs. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
From Maiduguri is back to Ruth in Abuja for the rest of Nationwide.
Thank you, Mohammed. And let's take sports update.
This is my work. This is where I am focused on. So if you think you're too busy focusing on your own profession, that you wouldn't have the time to do that, then it would cost you something to be able to get my service. But if you really take your body seriously, it shouldn't cost you anything to read up on things to do to make yourself a better person.
Eating the right food, fruits, vegetables, stress management, and a regular medical checkup can help us to maintain a perfect or near perfect healthy living. Unfortunately, it's been discovered that most people are complacent about their lifestyle habits, and so they do the opposite of what ordinarily should help them promote and sustain a good healthy living.
Unhealthy lifestyle is actually life-threatening. It is life-threatening. Beyond the fact that it might cost your life, I think you should actually think about a lot of people. Nobody wants to die, really. People want to live long. But if you want to live long, quote and unquote, how do you want to see yourself when you are like 80? Do you want to be a burden on people? Do you want to be healthy enough? Do you want to be strong enough to function properly? Because actually living a healthy lifestyle is like an investment. Most people that are